Okay, so it's Monday morning, so bear with me. We've got here a 736 revision 6. That's not a very old machine, maybe less than 10 years old. And the moldings were not allowing the kick plate or the vent on the bottom to be taken off. They had the Top Line service company here. That's the factory service out here in Bernardsville for your Sub-Zeros. They did not want to pull the machine out and they didn't want to cut the moldings. So what they did was they just tossed in any old solenoid valve in there to try to get it to work. But because they couldn't really get good access, I think that they tugged on the line that goes up to the ice maker and popped it out of the wall. So when we got here about a year later, new homeowners, they don't have ice, they can't get ice, and now we have to pull the machine out and retube everything because they didn't want to cut at the moldings. And it really goes back to the contractor who installed it. Kind of didn't really think about ever removing anything. Then just years of service companies that didn't want to deal with cutting moldings. But you'll see, we're going to get this all back to normal, all back to OEM and make it work. And just like what I tell people is use Velcro on the moldings for the bottom. And it might not be the tightest lines down there, but you can pull the moldings off and get to your vent and your condenser. So let's go, I'll show you everything. Okay, so once we got the kick plate off, we just kind of sliced away at the moldings. But once we got the kick plate off, we've got ourselves a solenoid valve that is installed like kind of wacky, and it's not hooked up to electricity, and there's no return that goes up to the ice maker. And then when we look in here, there's our electrical, but the feed line that goes to the ice maker is not there. We did find this though, which seems like it used to be the feed line. So we're gonna have to pull this machine out from the wall and replace that feed line, and then make sure we have power here. We will get the right solenoid in because this is the wrong solenoid. And once we have water, we should be back in business here. Man, that is so cool. Exact part, right out of my toolbox. Okay, so I've got the valve here. I think I'm gonna try to put it right there. Gives me a little bit of room to work with in the front here. And I've got the fill line curled up nicely, no kinks in it, and I got the electrical hooked up. Okay, so that nice green one with all the coating on it, that's not busted, we'll go right on there and clamp the hose into the fill tube. Sort of working one-handed here, but down. And the next thing you want to do is push it in all the way. It's got to go all the way up.
Now that's a little bit, we got some clearance. It's not perfect, but it's much better than it was. That won't interfere, get in the way. Just want to make sure you keep your condenser clean because this does heat up. Now we're going to replace that ice maker and get all the hardware that's missing off the bottom of the ice maker installed and properly put back together. Okay, so I got the ice maker out, and it looks like it's pretty oxidized and crappy in there. The arm, the ice maker arm that operates the float switch on this bad boy is not there. We're going to build a new ice maker to complete this ice maker system we're replacing, and we're going to reuse this piece right here, this nice aluminum mount. It's a very, very difficult part number to procure. We can get them similar, but we're just having a little trouble sourcing these. And I really think that they're a factory part, so we always sort of reuse them, and you should too, because there's nothing wrong with it, and it works like a trick. Okay, so I got it all back together, just about. And I'm testing the ice maker. I'm running it, jumping it out up here. There's a switch on the bottom. As you can see, that slides perfectly on the arm.
That one beat me up, but you saw, you got to pull that unit out, you got to get to that fill tube hardware and change the hardware on it. Having the hardware is probably the hardest part of that job, that little piece. If you don't have that hardware and you put back the rusted, junky hardware on there, the same thing's going to happen. You're going to be back pulling the machine out again. You had incompetence from the carpenter who trimmed in the machine so you couldn't get to the condenser area, incompetence from the prior technician who could not get off the grill or take the trim apart to get to the valve, and he put the wrong valve in anyway. That was like an accident waiting to happen. He also pulled out the tube from the fill tube and then left the ice maker on so that water kept splashing on it and rusted out the piece. All the ice maker hardware on the ice maker was gone, so there was no off-on switch on the ice maker itself. So that's a whole new 700 series ice maker system from top to bottom, installed on that unit with the warranty. That all came off of the truck. We had all of it. That is just incredible, and yeah, that's why you call us.